and the Suns, who were up 2-0 on the Mavericks. And Jalen, earlier this week you were on Get Up With Me, and I thought you made a magnificent way to describe what we are seeing right now in Chris Paul at his age.
Well, look at athletes like vehicles, and the more miles that we have, the more wear and tear we have, and at some point you get that tread on your tires and it starts to become the end of your career. But then there's an opportunity to reinvent yourself, and if you're Tom Brady or LeBron James or Chris Paul, to age gracefully, like a classic car. But for James Harden, when he was a member of the Houston Rockets, MVP level, all NBA level player, if you notice, the more teams that he's moved around, he's more like a used car. And so what now we're discussing is, can Joel Embiid return in Game 3 to lift the Sixers? We didn't even mention, could James Harden even have that done if Embiid didn't play, because he hasn't shown us that he can still do that for a team.
So that's on one side of it. Then Michael Wilbon, a guy that you know so well in Chris Paul. How would you describe what we are seeing from him right now, again, on his 37th birthday?
Well, we tend to concentrate on the physical, Greeny, and for good reason. You still got to go out and execute all these things. But what's interesting, I've worked on an upcoming book with Chris Paul. I've known him since he was 18 years old, since he was in high school and before he went to Wake Forest. And the one thing I'll say is, in 40 years of covering sports, all the sports and a lot of great athletes, I have never come across anyone who is more prepared or better prepared than Chris Paul. So what we might be talking about, we might be working on a book topic, which has nothing to do with the game that night. And Chris will go in front of him or to a shelf, and he'll pull out a notebook. And I'm like, dude, what are you doing? And he has notes on everything. He has notebooks. He keeps his own notes. He may be watching a game on a Tuesday night, and keep his own notes. He's not just watching like background noise. He's watching and scouting, and the preparedness is just unbelievable. And so this isn't by accident that this happens. Chris Paul, I know he hasn't won a championship yet, although David Stern helped cement that when he negated the trade to the Lakers for Kobe Bryant. They would have paired Chris Paul and Kobe Bryant. You think they would have won at least one? Because I do. But Chris Paul has been with 4 teams, and each one of those 4 teams has set its record for wins in a regular season on a team that Chris Paul was on. So New Orleans, the Clippers, the Rockets, and now the Suns, each one of those franchises, they have their record number of wins in a regular season on a team led by Chris Paul. My goodness, how can you speak higher of someone than him maxing out every By the way, did I leave out Oklahoma? Oklahoma City, I don't know if he must not have.
Actually, because I saw what you said today. Go ahead, Stephen A. How can you take that even one higher?
Well, first of all, I'll take it higher. I'll tell you something that really crystallizes the brilliance of Chris Paul. He wants to write a book, and he went to Mike Wilbon, because that's where you go, to the godfather himself, one of the great writers in American history, my big brother, Mike Wilbon. By the way, I'm going to get back to the physical, because I got news for y'all, breaking news. Chris Paul is a good-looking brother. Somebody need to say it, because this brother is, 37 years of age today, okay? He is the point guard. Honestly, the best point guard in basketball. And why do I bring up how he looks in terms of how he's playing and how he looks overall? Because that brother pulled me to the side All-Star Weekend, and he talked about that gluten-free, plant-based diet that he's got an advantage over everybody about, because he's bragging about this, because he's talking about how he's the dude in the locker room. He's the oldest dude and the only one who doesn't need ice packs. Everybody else got on ice packs but Chris Paul. So he's taking care of himself. He's elevated his level of play. The cerebral approach to the game has never departed from him. And on top of it all, the hunger is at an all-time high. I don't know what other ingredients you need when you are a person that great, deprived of a title. And when you talk about doing everything it takes to get what you're after, that is what he is doing, and that's why we are up here knowing that devoid of a championship, we still have to speak about him with this level of reverence, because he has earned it.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.